So to answer the question, you have to get exposed to the teaching. You have to find the right teacher who is in the vision of the Vedas, who knows that she's one with everyone, with everything, that all that exists is one consciousness, and that she is learned in the methodology. Shrotriya means that he's learned in the actual Upanishads, that she knows the Sanskrit and can, through words, use of words, um, convey the meaning or the actual the meaning behind the meaning. To point out that you are that consciousness that you've been looking for all your life, and that is what the Vedas are telling you all the time. Okay, through different examples, but that is what they're saying, because it's just, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that it's like, what? No way. But yeah, you just have to listen to it to get that different orientation, that you're no longer just, this little being that you're constantly identifying with. You can identify with everyone and expand yourself and see miracles happening around you all the time. So yes, Shravanam Mananam, basically thinking about the teaching, and Nididhyasana is the meditation step where the teaching actually kind of settles in and the mind is still and can recognize the truth, and all the veil of avidya, of ignorance, of not knowing your true nature actually falls down. And yeah, that's when but that's just a start, because it's just a start to actually living, to actually being present in the moment and actually being a creator of this world. Because before that, you don't know who you are, so you're constantly in some triangle of being either a victim of this world or a perpetrator, where you're actually, the sadist that is actually harming someone, or you're like a savior. That's the three roles that we're usually, that triangle, the drama triangle that we find so interesting in movies and drama and everywhere. So in our own life, of course. So we're constantly in that loophole, that dynamic energy of that triangle, perpetrator, victim, and a savior. So once you realize that you are actually all of them, you recognize the perpetrator in you, you recognize the victim in you, and you of course recognize the savior in you, that all of that is you, and that you're no longer hiding anything from yourself psychologically, in the sense you are accepting your fullness. And that means that you're accepting your shadows, you're accepting bad parts of you, all that the society or you think that is not really pretty to look at. Those are the things that we have to accept the most. We have to shed light on the dark. We don't need to shed light on light, it's already lit. We need to see those dark sides of us, so that everything gets lit and that your fullness shines, because you cannot just suppress, parts of your mind, personality, that are not, acceptable. So basically, integrating yourself as a whole being is definitely what happens once you realize that you are, or actually, I don't know whether that happens, or this is like a prerequisite. um, they're different. Is maybe it's happening simultaneously, but basically, as you're shedding light on all those corners of you, you are accepting yourself as you are. You're accepting the world as it is, as an expression of yourself, because as you are, so is the world outside. Like as they call micro and macro. Big and small. It's a mirror. It's a constant mirror reflection. So the more we actually accept all of parts of us, of our personality, of all of the world around us as ourselves, the less there will be fiction, the less there will be suffering within us, the less will be struggle, and the more we will just, accept it first, and then you can overcome it. You cannot overcome it until you see it, until you shed light on it. So that's the first thing, is that we need to, as personalities, just accept our totality and don't get attached to it, because it's normal that, for example, the let's say dhanam, giving, is a very important virtue. Um, if you want to, well, if you want to, if you are expressing your fullness, if you're expressing your ananda, that basically means that uh, that you have fullness to give. You have to give. So whatever you have, you can give to another person. You're not, as they call it, cheap. And it goes to such a detail that if you really embody, that fullness, whatever, if this is just what you have, one cup, you can give it, even though if it's just your last cup and that's the only thing, you can drink from your hand. It's no problem. You are full. You are equipped with everything that you need. If you believe that, you live that, you embody that, and the universe, of course, provides you with that. So, yeah, it's no wonder, for example, in the sense of not judging yourself, if you don't have that dhanam, because the whole society is constantly telling you to squeeze yourself really, really, really tightly and just hold whatever you have dearly for your life. Don't let anyone, don't let anyone steal it from you. Everyone is out to get you. It's like, it's such a uh, state of body, mind, it's such a cram of energy that it's total. Everything is totally blocked in that state of fear. That's basically fear. So if you feel like you're not generous enough, don't, like, whatever you find in yourself that you find that is not acceptable or you would like to change, the first step to changing is accepting it. Just accept that at the moment, this is the version of you, okay? Sorry, but that's but it's not sorry. It's the version of you that got you this far and will get you further. It's like you're constantly evolving. Even that state of jiva mukta, of being, knowing that you are, Brahman, or being free. I mean, everyone is free all the time, but knowing that you're free, even then you're constantly having more and more clarity, because there's so many things to know that you just don't have that all the time in the world in your waking hours to think about all these things. So the clarity is constantly coming as you're thinking about them. So you're thinking about them is actually nididhyasana. Yeah, it's a form of meditation. So everything gets revealed in meditation, in your attention to one topic. Yeah. So you can basically know it all. You just have to put your intention long enough on that subject matter to persist on it and get knowledge about that. So in that sense, uh, don't judge yourself, or accept yourself. Accept all this, and especially if you have things that are bothering you outside of yourself. Like, I don't know, here is popular, like politicians nowadays. Like someone that is draining your energy and you're feeling like, oh, they're so bad, I don't want them, I don't want to see them, I don't want to feel them or anything. That's precisely like the trigger, that you don't want to feed that emotion. So what you want to do is look at why that person is triggering so much um, anger, I don't know, resentment, whatever, and see whether there's something in you that you find so resentful, or whether he or she reminds you of something in you that you don't find acceptable. So that way, everyone becomes acceptable. And not only that, you empathize with them, because everyone that you find that is not really, a nice person or whatnot, is probably not that, because he doesn't have clarity, doesn't have, that knowledge or that empathy that is needed to act, in the way that you think is, correct, or you think is according to the truth. So in that sense, you need to have empathy and understanding because, of course, you are also with this instrument that you're identifying with, you're also not perfect. You know, you have made many mistakes many times, so you also have to be, you know, not judgmental towards others and not towards yourself. So if you're judgmental towards others, that's a sign for you that guy is actually inside of you, you know, and you need to talk to that guy inside of you and, you know, give him some space and see why he is that way that he is, what the circumstances shaped him that he turned into that kind of a person. And then you will have full understanding how he turned out that way. And you will see that he is also an expression of Brahman. And you will see that there's no judgment, but there's actually empathy, you know, because every one of them, unless they know that they are, you know, that they are Brahman, unless they are constantly in their fullness, they're usually suffering and looking for their fullness and, you know, suffering because all of these things that they think they are and that the world is. And of course you will have empathy towards them. Okay, I don't know that if that answered the question. Are there any questions related to this, what I just said?
It is easy to say that, but if you want to be that, it is not easy. I think it is hard things to believe that everybody around you is you exactly.
Yes, well, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it's hard. I don't know. With animals, it's kind of easier. You can kind of get the connection easier because they're usually not pretending anything to be anything that they're not. But with people, also it's easier with those that don't pretend. You can kind of look them in the eye and kind of see the connection and feel them. I don't know. Um, Yes. Okay. So the thing, okay, so I know it's very easy to say and it's kind of hard to do, but it's basically because our heart is and our knowledge is very related, you know, because what we think kind of creates how we feel, you know, creates the emotional state that we are in. So basically, expanding ourselves mentally with listening all the time that I am everyone, you know, then your heart kind of opens up. And also another thing is um, um, not engaging in himsa activities. So for someone who wants to be, you know, to be the free, to realize that she's a free person, it's very important. That's why all the yogis have a very disciplined diet. Diet is a very it's a direct source of energy that you come in contact with, so it shapes your not only your you know your body but also your mind and your emotional state. So eating sattvic food, sattva is that quality of light and knowledge, and that is in fruits and seeds and vegetables. So basically, the diet that is prescribed in order for us to get this knowledge, to get this orientation, to that we are free and that everyone is one, is that we do need to have that kind of diet because that shapes um, the quality of our mind, and the mind is the one that perceives. So that quality we need to yeah change. So participating in any himsa activities, hurtful activities, will definitely always bring that constant state of mind where you are different from the other. You know, when you're in anger, of course you're different from the other. You hate the other person. There's no way he can be you, you know? But when you get out of that state of mind, when you kind of elevate your energy into sattvic energy, when you don't participate in you know, activities that produce harm, then it's easier to perceive that. It's easier to perceive that angry hooligan person that, it's kind of natural to have that reaction towards him because, that is his role. Then you don't see him as an angry, I mean, you see him as an angry hooligan, but you don't have any reaction towards him that you had before. You have more empathy because that guy is really struggling, like if that is a way that he perceives that he needs to give out energy in the world in the form of fight, in the form of, bloodshed, in form of conflict, that means that that guy is in hell, so uh, ideally, if you want to surpass that, the practice that is in the Vedas and in the Yoga Sutras especially mentioned is Pratipaksha Bhavana. So you can use the person that you dislike and do something good to them, but you don't have to do it. Like, for example, it can be a person that you don't have contact with, or anyone. So what you can do is you don't have to literally talk to them. You already have you are him. Like we said, consciousness is all one consciousness. So you embody his consciousness as well. So you can literally talk to him inside of you, like a form of meditation, and resolve your conflict with that person or actually with yourself that you're feeling. Okay? And with that, in that way, if everyone did that, this this place, this world will be a really wonderful place without any conflict. Because you're constantly resolving all the conflicts within you, that you don't have any conflicts to project out. So yeah, that's a really, really good form of doing that pratipaksha bhavana, or actually um, doing the opposite. Like if something is bothering you, or you have an emotion reaction that is, not conducive to unity, then you just turn it into its opposite. You wish for that person the best. You pray for that person. For example, if everyone just prayed for, this sounds like the biggest propaganda ever, but let's say everyone in this country prayed for, well, not for his like well-being in that sense, but for our president, um, mindset, or to imagine what we would like him or anyone to be, and to give that intention through a prayer, through a meditation. I think we would avoid definitely any kind of conflicts, and definitely give good energy so that he can actually transform into the person that we could use him for, or anyone else. It's just like that bad energy that is fading. Just turn it into its opposite. Turn it into love, into positive, into the positive change that you want to see. Because it's sort of irrelevant who the guy is, what's his name or what he looks like, as long as he's doing the job that you want him to do, or what he's supposed to do, if you agree that that system is fair at all in the beginning. But that's a whole different issue. Yeah, so in that sense, it's irrelevant. You just want that role to be performed in the proper way. So you pray for that, you know, or whatever change in the world, good change that you want to see, or whatever is bothering you in the negative, you put an intention, put your prayer is your intention, into it, and your consciousness, because it is just one consciousness, it literally has the power to change the world. So don't ever question that. Just believe that with your heart, with all the intensity. And yeah, definitely things can change tomorrow, like this, not tomorrow, in a second, literally. So yeah, I don't know if that was a little bit inspirational.
Thank you for the explanation.
Okay. Okay. Well, the time is up. I hope I gave a good introduction to the topic of Vedanta, or what the Vedas are telling us. And hopefully next time we'll explore a different topic, or that everything is included in the Vedas. But something that can interest you more. So yeah, we'll explore some maybe interesting and maybe taboo topics like sexuality. I think sexuality is not really talked about almost ever in the spiritual circles. It's like a, it's not really looked upon fondly. So maybe we'll explore that because we need to shed light, like I said, in all the dark corners of our life to, to be cognizant and to see that, what it is, not to just assume and hide and, project what it could be. It's just, let's clear it out all out. Let's find out. There's nothing to be afraid of. So yeah, we'll look at that this time. Mantra for the end, and we'll conclude. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.